With this video, we will be doing why rappers are scared of Kendrick Lamar, and if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow, and the only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go! Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Kendrick Lamar is terrifying to his fellow rappers, not just in the wake of his recent activity, but long before he was ever as battle-tested as he is now. At the minute, hip-hop is basking in the landscape where he destroyed Drake so savagely that his name is now being used as an acronym to warn others.
Don't rap against Kendrick ever.
Yeah.
You didn't sit home with the fucking BlackBerry or the bum car.
That's a hell of an acronym. I like it.
What?
Don't rap against Kendrick ever.
Drake. Yo, that's hard. That's a dope acronym. That's great. Great advice.
You didn't sit home with the fucking BlackBerry or the bum composition book and write acronyms for your own fucking name.
But while Drake's defeat at K-Dot's hands has proven exactly why so few have gone at Kendrick over the years, what is it that makes his reputation so fierce in the first place? Well, there's actually a variety of factors that made it clear to the whole world that Kendrick wasn't a man to trifle with. My name is Luesta, and this is why rappers are scared of Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of angles to tackle why Kendrick has such a reputation for being one of the MCs that you just don't attempt to rhyme against. But one of the main reasons is that the reverence that the culture has for him trickles down to the top of the industry. Co-signed by Dr. Dre and passed the torch to the West Coast by Snoop Dogg, The Game, Corrupt, and every other OG you can think of.
I'ma say this and I'ma think this. Nigga, you got the torch, nigga. You better rest.
Even the
I was just about to say, you know, that really actually happened. And there it was.
Yeah, that's when they gave him the crown. It was on that night they gave him a crown.
They got real.
Legendary Eminem once thought that his pen game couldn't possibly live up to the hype.
The thing with M was crazy to me. He kicks everybody out the studio. I took it as him kicking everybody out to see if that's really you writing them raps that you're writing. You get what I'm saying?
With Eminem known to be upset at rappers who use...
You know how like Benzino said when he wrote his, he had like people in there like giving them lines and all type of stuff or giving them whatever they gave him. Yeah, he said, yo, I want to make sure no one's giving you anything. I want to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
We're really going to put that pen to the test. And he said, what? You don't know who I am?
You don't know who I am?
Use ghostwriters, that's a pretty fair assumption. But as Ed Sheeran remembered, he soon found out exactly why K-Dot was given so many props by people that he respected.
Eminem, he'd heard that Kendrick Lamar was the best rapper, and he invited him to the studio to get him on a song, and he arrived and Kendrick came with all his mates. And Eminem said, I just want you in the studio, just you on your own.
I don't need nobody else.
And then my engineer's going to come in and then record.
If they not going to leave no bars, we don't need them in the studio. You feel what I'm saying?
You doing it, but your mates aren't allowed in. And then Kendrick did it, wrote a sick verse, and then everyone came in to listen to it. And Eminem said he did it to test Kendrick because he thought he had a ghostwriter, and he then realized that he didn't, and then claimed that he was the best.
Ever since the two of them collaborated on...
Thought he had a ghostwriter. He said, nah, it's all me. I don't need no ghostwriters. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, then he claimed he's the best.
Love Game off the Marshall Mathers LP2, Eminem has known that Lamar is among the elites in the game. And in a rare show of vulnerability from Shady, he suggested that he would think twice about coming for Kendrick.
It's the same thing if I getting on a track with Kendrick.
Yeah.
I can never tell what the fuck he's gonna do.
Right.
Because he is such a chameleon of styles and he can fucking do pretty much anything, right? And he's so proficient at it, he's so good at it, and you don't know what you're gonna get.
That right there is something that somebody should have played for Drake before this whole thing started. Because that was a perfect explanation of kind of how he got handled in this one. Kendrick gave him a little bit of everything.
Switching up the styles.
Switching up the styles. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make this play this way. I'm going to go this direction. It was just kind of like overload.
I'm hit you with some Al Green. I'm hit you with this Mustard beat. I'm hit you with this Alchemist beat. I'm just going to...
Where you go? What you do?
Yeah, facts.
To me, is like a top tier lyricist because it's like... you can get your ass kicked any day.
Besides overshadowing rappers on features, K-Dot never had to square off with other MCs in the same way that Shady had to in his career. But he always insisted that he had it in him to tear a rapper to shreds, even after he became a mainstream star. His entire Section 80 campaign basically revolved around the claim that he would kill your favorite rapper. Then on Damn's Element, he issued a warning that all they had to do was say his name and they'll see Candyman. Then, after winning a Pulitzer Prize, he let his colleagues know what time it was on Rich Spirit, where he told them to stop playing with him before he turns you into a song.
Stop playing with me before it turns into a song.
Now, in the wake of Aubrey's demolition and J. Cole,
that's crazy.
Turn him into a song.
Facts. I was like, yo, when we heard that, I was like, yo, I think he was talking to Drake on that one, and he really turned him into a song.
Turn him into a song.
Waving the white flag. We know that wasn't an idle threat, as over these past few weeks, he's left massive footprints on their legacies. As they struggle to pick themselves back up, you can imagine that no one will be stepping to Dot anytime soon. But long before everything that followed Kendrick's declaration of "fuck the big three, it's just Big Me" went down, rappers already showed a real reluctance to cross him. In fact, when they let their ego get in the way and spoke out against him, they usually decided to pay homage instead. Because although he had never really been in a battle until Drake thought he could take him on, he already proved how much his presence and the chatter around your career can do with Big Sean. In many ways, Big Sean is pretty much the reason why Kendrick is going at Drake in the first place. By now, we all know about K-Dot's infamous verse on Control, where he hijacked Big Sean's track to let the whole industry know that even though he had love for them, he was trying to murder them and take their fans. At the same time, Big Sean insisted that he didn't even get bodied on the track, even though he opted to leave it off his Hall of Fame album that it was originally intended to be on. But he never really managed to escape its shadow.
I put that work in. Like, you're not gonna disrespect me. I hop on any track with anybody, and I will not only stand my own. You gonna know that it's my verse, and you gonna know I'm
what I like. Except for Control. Kendrick watched you on Control.
No, stop it.
Sean, come on now.
This is the old Charlemagne. This is Charlemagne I love. He's no longer this guy who would troll people that came in there, and that was his job to control them. But Big Sean's supposed to feel like that. He's supposed to feel like he's the best. And Kendrick's supposed to feel like he's the best. If you're doing whatever you do, you're supposed to feel like you're the best, or don't do it. I'm pretty sure Charlemagne at this time felt like he was the best radio personality in the game. That's how you're supposed to feel.
If you're not approaching life like that, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I want to be mediocre.
Come on.
And how long ago is that? What year is this?
That were you right? You got you
okay,
right.
Okay.
But now in this day, I see what the guy's saying that's narrating this. Like, it didn't age well, because now we know what we know and how it turned out overall. This quote did not age well.
Yeah, you got out the car.
Yeah, facts. Like Trey from Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're right.
And I still don't feel like I got washed anyway.
Now you got washed on.
Whatever. Your opinion. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't focus on people's opinions. You know why? Because that's gonna throw you off.
Although he never fully accepted that there was beef,
that's a fact.
It looked like he started jabbing at him a little bit. He started irritating him a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not the first time hearing that. But he's right. Yeah. You can't let people's thoughts in your head. You got to stay on your square. Like, yo, I'm the best out here, and this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, focus on your plan.
Yeah.
Big Sean did attempt to throw subliminal shots at Dot from time to time. For example, on songs like Me, Myself, and I and No More Interviews, people felt like the Detroit rapper was aiming at Kendrick's rapping style. But as is often the case, Kendrick never even acknowledged that anything was going down. Then, on The Heart Part 4, he let the world know that he heard what was being said, and that if he kept pushing, Big Sean would get what he thought he wanted.
My fans can't wait for me to sun your punk ass and crush your whole little shit. How big pun your punk ass, you a scared little bitch.
While he never got a formal diss track dedicated to him, Big Sean was informed in no uncertain terms that Kendrick would come at his...
Like he say, yo, he be coming at people direct, and he be coming at them hard and aggressive. That's what you gotta love about Kendrick. It's aggressive.
It's like, I meant to say that, I meant to do that.
Yeah.
I thought it out.
Yeah, facts.
What you gonna do?
Whenever he wanted to. Meanwhile, the Control situation left such a permanent imprint on Big Sean's career that you can almost divide it between the time before that verse and everything that happened after. And in a move that has really set the tone for how people come out of the other side of squabbling with Kendrick, Big Sean speaks of him with nothing but admiration now, and basically acts as if there was never a problem in the first place.
Origel's leading formula helps you knock out pain.
It wasn't really no smoke.
Severe toothaches.
The whole Big Sean Kendrick beef was going on.
That's hard how they said that. They said how people come out the other side of Kendrick, like you different.
Before and after.
Like in a boxing match. You know, they be talking before. And then when
like
they get
Adrian
real, they be like, stuttering and
when
whatnot.
Adrian Boner was talking, then he came out the thing like,
Chris, then they get that real one and change their life.
Fact.
It was something I wish I would have spoken up about because there was nothing. So then I remember going online and seeing like, oh, is he talking about Kendrick? Because I'm talking about people who rap fast. I wasn't beefing with nobody.
Insisting that he didn't want any problems, Big Sean still had to acknowledge that the whole thing has haunted him for years.
And in every verse I do, people be like, oh, is this a response? Is this a response? And I'm like, it's like, damn, I can't even show no aggression. People think it's a damn response. It got to a point where somehow it was just a weird tension between me and him, even though it was already said it wasn't no beef because people made it that way, right?
Although Big Sean probably got the raw end of the deal out of control, there was another man on the track who goes by the name of Jay Electronica. And although he was regarded as one of the world's greatest MCs at the time, he didn't escape unscathed either. Basically, Jay Elect didn't appreciate the fact that people were saying Kendrick beat him on the track. In fact, he said that Dot was envious of him.
Kendrick will body you. Look, you couldn't pay Kendrick $1 million. Kendrick wouldn't tell you. Kendrick could tell you himself he couldn't body me. Woo. Kendrick, look, Kendrick is my son. Kendrick is my son.
He was talking heavy.
He was talking heavy. Where is he now?
Where is he now?
Tell you himself he couldn't body me. Kendrick, look, Kendrick is my son. Kendrick is my baby. Kendrick wish he said he could be me.
Followed up with his verse on The Curse of Mayweather, where he rapped, he got 11 Grammy nominations, y'all not equal, man fuck these white people, which refers to the amount of Grammys Kendrick won at the time. He followed it up with, my grandmother died at 82 scrubbing floors, and rappers still running around begging for awards. J-Lake looked like he was practically begging for problems. Then, from out of nowhere, he seemed to have a change of heart and was giving
I mean, you know, in the rap industry, the best way to get some clout is to scream someone's name out.
Yeah, especially somebody who's scorching it.
Yeah, you gotta call somebody out.
His flowers all of a sudden. Lastly, peace to K-Dot and TDE, because regardless to whom or what, we're brothers fighting the same energy. Forgive my past energy. Although it's unclear what made him switch up like that, Jay, like many rappers we're going to discuss, was another man who folded on Dot when he was put to the test. For the most part, hip-hop's response to Kendrick's name drops on Control not only laid the groundwork for the Drake beef, but it also set the precedent for how rappers would tiptoe around him. At the time, there were tons of responses to Control, but they all seemed like they were carefully towing the line as to not go too far. For example, after feeling angered that Slaughterhouse were left out of the shoutouts, one of the group's members, Joel Ortiz, responded with the vicious track titled Out of Control, where he let Kendrick have it.
And you the king of New York.
Oh, y'all remember
homie,
this.
you ain't the king of New York. You the next thing on my fork.
But later on, he would do an interview with Vibe and say that he was actually saluting Kendrick for the most part. As for the notoriously fearless Joe Budden, he was hosting a live stream for the response track only to opt out and not release it. Amid responses from Papoose and others, Kendrick remained so calm about the whole thing that it would be impossible for it to not strike fear in their hearts.
How you feeling about all the comebacks lately from your Control verse?
You gotta try harder.
So when they all backed down,
they
really made that Lamar was to be treated with respect. Basically, there's always a caveat when it comes to K-Dot slander, rather than anyone really coming for his neck. I mean, just look at what happened to French Montana when he attempted to diss him. Over the years, French has had a few things to say about Kendrick. First off, he claimed that he was being pushed by the industry.
Why you think Kendrick sells more than like street rappers?
Because they position him like how they did in the Grammys as the new music. Well, I don't feel like that's, you know, it's not that it's not the right thing to do, but I just feel like you see it's like the whole thing was like Kendrick night.
Then more ridiculously,
You almost sound like a hater, my guy.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
It sounded like a lot of steam coming out of that chair. You feel what I'm saying?
Because there wasn't even no explanation. There wasn't no thought behind it.
Nah, not at all.
This was like, this is what they wanted
I'm just gonna say
to happen.
I'm just gonna say some wild, outlandish shit that I think that sounds right.
he said that he had more hits than him, only to be clowned relentlessly by the internet. If we're just talking about anthems, me versus Kendrick hit for hit, I believe I can go neck to neck. I've been making hits for a long time. I love Kendrick. That's not just for Kendrick, that's for anybody they put in front of me. However,
I remember that. Then they started firing him up and they just started putting a list like all the songs that he had, like that was like featured with somebody. It wasn't like his solo songs. It was just all songs feature.
Not everyone agreed with this. I mean, even other rappers hopped on the bandwagon to mock him for it.
Stupid ass nigga said he got more hits than Kendrick Lamar.
He said stupid nigga.
Smile at
fool. The man said he got more hits than me and Kendrick. Bro, your junk ass ain't got more hits than no motherfucking Kendrick, and you ain't damn sure ain't got more hits or anthems than me. You smoke hard, boy. You tripping. You on real dope.
But while he had smoke for Thug and engaged in a war of words with him over it, French Montana never tried to provoke K-Dot any further. And now, just like everyone else, French has since basically apologized for even thinking he could mess with him and said he was just in his feelings at the time.
I was just heated I ain't win a Grammy for Unforgettable.
That's what it was?
Yeah, but Kendrick is my dog. But
that's what I said. You could feel like the hate coming from the couch, and you just admitted I was hating on the ball because I ain't get the Grammy that night.
And when he says the track Unforgettable, that was an unforgettable track. And it has stood the test of time as well. But that just goes to show you, like, what Kendrick's been doing, man. He been dropping bombs out here.
Yeah, Unforgettable was French Montana's biggest song ever. So he's like, yo, if I don't get a Grammy for this, I ain't never gonna get one, because that was an international song. So if I don't get it for this, you know, I'll basically be on that Coke Boy stuff. So if I don't get it for this, I'm definitely gonna get it for this Coke Boy ish.
But just that one day at the interview, I was just so heated that I ain't win, and he was the winner, and I was just like, yo. But I fuck with Kendrick. I fuck with the whole team.
Opting to say that he was in the wrong rather than say Kendrick had any part in it, this is a rare show of humility for a rapper. And while Cole has been taking all the flack for getting up on that Dreamville Festival stage and saying that his 7-minute drill diss song towards Kendrick didn't sit right with his spirit and would be deleted off streaming services,
when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit.
On May 31st, discover why Robert De Niro remains one of Hollywood's most talented legends.
That was wisdom speaking.
Shit disrupts my fucking peace.
History shows that he's not the first person to make his apologies to Kendrick. And maybe fear of being dismantled on a verse wasn't the only reason. Although his immense talents on the mic are one major factor, French extending his love to Kendrick's whole team is important. Because as these rappers likely learned before going at his neck, messing with Kendrick requires you to go up against an army. And while Kendrick might have been a good kid in a mad city, he's got a whole city behind him. And there's something dangerous about Kendrick that not a lot of people speak about. Growing up in Compton, Kendrick was exposed to the gang lifestyle early on, and many of his best friends were active members. Then, after joining TDE, he suddenly found himself in the midst of the Bounty Hunter Bloods and Hoover Crips as he teamed up with fellow label mates Schoolboy Q and J-Rock, as well as a whole host of other people who were repping sets. Recently, Kendrick's gang ties have come under the microscope again, because if the rumors are true, Cole might have received a tip to back off from the beef that sounds not too dissimilar to what you'd see on the streets from Schoolboy Q. Reporting from Dreamville Festival, an unnamed source revealed that it was actually Schoolboy Q who allegedly warned J. Cole to stop beefing with Kendrick before the apology.
It's just hella smart. You be in Cali, Kendrick is tied to what he's tied to, and it could spill over, and why have those headaches over Drake?
You ain't even got to worry about none of that. Just make music.
Yeah, just do what you do. Be great.
Specifying what kind of warning, whether it was a bullying move, a Debo-like maneuver, or just a friendly heads up. I don't think it matters at this point, but based on what Punch, TDE's president, said, I think they gave him what he needed to hear to bow out of the battle with as much grace as possible. Whether he was letting him know what kind of heat K-Dot had in store for Drake with the abuse allegations, or telling him to ease up before things got dangerous, this whole situation proves that whatever Kendrick is getting involved in, the streets he grew up on have his back. In terms of gangs, Kendrick has long been rumored to have connections to the West Side Pyrus. In addition to his affiliation to the red side of the city, Kendrick also has uncles who are Crips, several of which have served lengthy jail terms for gang-related activity and armed robbery, and he's still locked in with them to this very day.
Does the crew come out every time you come to Compton?
Yeah.
As a result of his connections, as well as old pictures of Kendrick dressed in red, Drake's recent assessment that he isn't affiliated to a set on his new track Family Matters has been ridiculed by people from Compton, while at the same time respecting Kendrick's desire to withhold that from becoming a big part of his identity.
Drake says you don't bang a set, and he says the game bangs a set, even Chris Brown bangs a set.
He just don't know Kendrick.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kendrick renounced his hood affiliation as second boy?
Kendrick just don't be private and so like priding himself off of his gang culture. So I guess people think that he a non-affiliate. I don't know if we posted, but you know, hey.
But obviously, like the fact is Kendrick severely downplays gang affiliations.
The push-ups was in his hood, wasn't they? The push-ups that you talk about, they at the park.
Once again, the clues for Cali having his back have all been there in the music. On Section 80's Poe Man Dreams, Kendrick has a line where he says,
City got my back before that, I give them my torso. You think about it.
basically what he's saying here is that he can say things with his chest because he knows that he has the city behind him. And when you look close at those videos of Not Like Us going off in the club, he should definitely feel more confident in that than ever. But while this could be taken literally for the whole state of California, that line may contain allusions to his gang ties. In an interview from back in the day, Snoop Dogg went into more detail about this.
It's just that he's a nice guy, so they have a problem with it because he doesn't have a gangster approach. But let me let y'all know, he got 100,000 motherfucking gangsters with him. So y'all better watch what y'all say. You understand what I'm saying? Keep it hip hop, because that's what he did. He kept it all hip hop.
In spite of the fact that Kendrick hasn't.
Yeah, that's yeah, he was saying that in the song. He was saying, yo, I'm a general god, but I'm war ready.
Yeah.
Same thing Snoop was just saying.
And they ready to go.
That part.
Never definitively said he was a gangbanger. What we do know is that there are times in his life where he moved like one. Back in the day, Dot tried to intimidate AD of the No Jumper podcast and Back on Fig because Kendrick thought he was from a rival neighborhood.
Hey, you wanna know a crazy thing about Kendrick, bro? My first encounter with him, he thought I was somebody else, bro. He low-key tried to press me.
He low-key tried to press
Kendrick
me.
Lamar.
Who do you think you were? Gorilla
He
Black?
from a different hood. I guess some niggas jumped him back in the day. And I came to the studio and he was mad. He was like, hey, you from Almond Block? And I was like, nah, but he was hot.
You banged on him back?
Where's Almond Block?
No, Almond Block is another hood in Compton. And I was like, nah, I ain't from Almond Block.
He thought you were lying.
And he was like, you is from Almond Block. I'm like, nah, I ain't from Almond Block. I'm over here.
He
was like, all right. And then we was cool after that.
But
he was
say,
mad,
oh,
though.
all right.
No, he was mad. Yeah, he was mad.
Ain't nothing worse than somebody being on your heels and you're not the guy that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yo, that ain't me, homie. Nah, that's you.
That's you. Nah, I know you when I see you. What?
Facts.
Yeah, if I was from Almond Block, he would have got his get back on me that day.
From the gang members which regularly appear in his music videos, the musical appears like mustard, proving that they'll throw away any other relationship to ride for his Cali comrade. Dot's status as king of the West Coast, and everything that entails it, would make anyone think twice before coming at him. But while there was speculation that Kendrick wasn't to be taken lightly, it's safe to say that this Drake battle has made that crystal clear. Although OVO stands like Maul or academics may argue otherwise, there's no denying that Kendrick washed Drake. Bearing the music itself, the fact that he overthrew Drake's record for the highest streams for a rap song in a day with a track where he calls him a sex offender, it's just diabolical. Now, fans are waking up to the fact that he just wasn't to be messed with. I knew Kendrick Lamar was a dude that needed to be left alone when that video of him doing burpees in a parking lot while listening to oldies dropped. Something is clearly wrong with him. Look at this fucking psychopath. His willingness to take a rapper out aside, what's happening to Drizzy these days further explains to why he wasn't challenged before now. Because while people have been throwing jabs at Drake for years, it doesn't matter if they don't hit the general public. But with Kendrick, you have a rare mix of someone who isn't just obscenely skilled, but also has the platform to slander you and reach huge audiences. It's the fear of embarrassment. He's a better rapper than almost everyone in the industry skill-wise. He can do both mainstream and underground style music when most artists just choose one and never change. Because he can immortalize you in a negative light in the form of a classic hit. If you needed proof that this is a real thing, just look at this school teacher's comments about the change in tone around Drake in the wake of Not Like Us dropping.
I, up until today, taught at a very Drake-centric high school. Rich Baby Daddy is the most frequently requested song to put on my class playlist. If I ask students what they're listening to in their headphones, Drake. The week after the leak was a nightmare. But today I walk in and I can feel that there has been a tectonic shift. Oh my God. This is a Kendrick school now. I polled my classes on what they thought, and they were ready to throw down for Kendrick.
Before this was a Drake school. After that, oh my God, This is now Kendrick school.
She said it's a tectonic shift, like the plates are shifting.
Yeah, an earthquake.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I had like one Drake defender in each class, if that. And honestly, I feel bad for those kids because they were getting screamed at.
As people move to the sides, he has even hit Drake in his pockets. According to Billboard, from May 3rd to May 6th, Lamar's discography earned around 50 million streams, up 49% from the previous Friday to Monday tracking period. Meanwhile, Drake's overall catalog is actually down when you similarly compare his streams from that weekend to last weekend, and remove his 2 streaming available response tracks, Push-Ups and Family Matters. Although Kendrick won't overtake Drake's streaming numbers as a whole, what is clear is that Kendrick's versatility has proven to be a weapon, and as Eminem suggested earlier, one of the reasons why it's not advisable to test him.
If you go through all these records, from Like That to Euphoria to 616 in LA to Meet the Grams to Not Like Us, none of those records sound the same at all.
Nah,
it's the widest
different.
range I've ever seen in the amount of time in any diss battle ever. When it comes to the rapping and the music, fuck all like the timeline or what's true and what's not true, who's rapping and who is putting out the better records. Kendrick Lamar, check every fucking box sonically that you could think of.
From his pen game to his potential gang ties, there are lots of reasons why Kendrick is feared, but the biggest reason of all should be how seriously he takes his craft.
I'm so passionate about hip-hop, man. Like, I don't know what era everybody else come from, but I listen, man. Like, we play house parties, bro, every night. I love it to a point I can't even describe it. And when I heard these artists say they're the best coming up, I said, I'm not doing it to have a good song or one good rap or a good hook or a good bridge. I want to keep doing it every time, period. And to do it every time, you have to challenge yourself and you have to confirm to yourself that you're the best, period.
This explains the responsibility he feels to uphold standards, as well as why Drake taking the culture without giving back bothers him so much.
This is not something you just play with, you know, get some few dollars and get out, you know. People live their lives to this music. It's my partners in the hood right now. They listen to rap every day because it's the only thing that can relate to their stories and their tribulations. You have to take in consideration what you write down on that paper. And if you're not doing it to say the most impactful, you're doing it to be the best you can be for the listener, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Always one to keep his sword sharp. Kendrick.
It's like right there, you could just hear like the passion in him. Why he is who he is. I came in the game to be here for a long time. I didn't come here just to make a song or two, get a couple of dollars and go right back to the hood. Now I wanted to keep going and going and going because I know where I'm from. They listen to rap because this is the only thing they relate to. So at the end of the day, I'm at least get my people where I'm from something to listen to because I'm the best doing it. So I might as well just keep doing it for my people. But I like the passion he have to just being in the game that long. A lot of people lose that luster in their eye when they get one hit.
Yeah, and the fact that his mindset is to be impactful, to make a difference, to make, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That puts you in a whole nother perspective of looking at things anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just keep that hunger and that desire going and the same output of the great music, man, you doing something.
Yeah, definitely doing something. I like the fact that he said that you gotta be careful what you write down on your pen. So he's just real thoughtful everything that he's writing because you know a lot of people are listening to him. So he's thoughtful what he put into the ears.
Real talk.
Kendrick would never allow himself to lose with that kind of mindset. In a genre where other rappers lose their hunger over time, K-Dot has always stayed as determined to prove himself as when Overly Dedicated dropped. At the same time, never bothering anyone unless he feels provoked. To explain why Kendrick is among the most feared rappers of any era, we need to borrow a phrase that dates back to Roman times. If you want peace, prepare for war. Whether you may realize it or not, Kendrick stays ready. And after destroying Drake, he's probably bought himself a whole lot of that coveted peaceful life for decades to come. Unless someone is stupid enough to ignore these warnings and try him again.
It's crazy. It's Trey TV. Let's get it.
These noodles. This is Lamar Wilson here representing Ghetto Action News Network _, all lower cases.
No spaces.
So find us on Facebook, and when you do, leave some comments, share something, scroll the page, find something you like, and come back. Let me get right into this.
Let's get it.
I thought this was dope how they broke down a lot of different angles of looking at Kendrick Lamar as an artist. Especially when it comes to this whole back and forth interaction. The diss track thing is not a good idea.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
Just checking out the way he moves, like, you know what I'm saying, looking a little deeper into who he is as a person, where it comes from. And he's very strategical.
Definitely.
About everything he does. From what we see, and it just kind of let the game know I'm not the one you want to come for. Just, you know what I'm saying? That's why when he be over in his corner, it's best to leave him in his corner. But I thought this was very insightful. I thought it was dope. A lot of information in here. What you think?
I think this right here was definitely a dope documentary, and I think Kendrick has entered that realm that Eminem was in for a long time, when nobody would dare come at Eminem as far as wanting the rap battle. I think that's the place Kendrick at now, where no one's gonna dare say anything about him, because they just seen what happened, and nobody want the same thing to happen to Drake to happen to him, because he's passionate about it. He put the work in, and like Rory was saying, he gave you a range of songs. There's so much stuff that he could do, so you don't know which direction that he's coming from. And if he's getting that from Eminem, that just lets you know about his pen game, because Eminem is definitely one of the top pens in the game. So it's just nice to see that he gave him that. I never seen Eminem say that before about Kendrick, so it was dope to actually see that in a documentary. Can't wait to see what else come from this. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.